And hello, South Florida. Welcome to another live edition of the Real Estate Show. We are heard live here Monday through Friday here on the station that you're listening to us, whether you are on the AM 1470 arena, whether you're on the FM dial at 95.3, all the way to the other end at 103.9, and right down the middle at 96.9 as well. My name is Eric Willner. I am your host. And we got a super show for you today. Got a lot going on. Obviously, there is a lot going on, but there's a lot going on here in the real estate world as well. You know, each day, Monday through Friday, we are live here giving you a perspective on real estate from a number of different angles, but it's always all about real estate. So whether you're tuning in on our Monday edition when we talk about real estate from a concept and a business, whether we're talking about Tuesdays, our tools, tips, and techniques, our Wednesdays, which is our midweek report, one of our fan favorites, tying in what's going on in the marketplace with the real estate market. And then, of course, we've got our Thursday, it's about the money, the ATM edition, about the money, where we talk about finances, we talk about mortgages, we talk about real estate in general. And, you know, you can't have much of a conversation around the concept of real estate without eventually having to touch on the idea of how to pay for it and also how it pays you. So then Fridays, you know, we have our weekly wrap up. We talk about the high points of each one of the days. And then we brought in a new element to the real estate show called First Time Fridays. Well, we're talking more about first-time home buyers, first-time investors, but the art of buying real estate for the first time. So one of the things that we always do. Oh, by the way, let me make a few announcements. You know, because in addition to our 5 shows a week, can you believe that 5 days a week, we're on at our new time at 5 p.m. So make sure that you bookmark, set the alarms. You know, some of the apps, like the TuneIn app, for example, which is a free app you can put on your mobile device, your iPads, tablets, your phones. It actually has an alarm, and it will remind you when your favorite show's on. And we hope that you'll list the real estate show as one of your favorites. Anyway, on that app, it'll remind you of our 5 o'clock show, or you can also come to our 8 p.m. show. So 2 days a week, 2 times a day, 5 days a week, 2 times a day, you can join us. Now, if that weren't enough, then we've got our workshops each week that we have instituted. You know, there's so much for us to cover. Believe it or not, in those 10 shows, we can't cover it all. And so to bring it all also under one context, so that we don't have to break up the topic so much. On Mondays, we talk about equity acceleration, how to build up equity faster, how to pay down mortgages faster, and all of that kind of revolves around the topic of credit. So we have our equity accelerator workshop on Monday nights at 9 p.m. So just a little while after our last show. We do this via Zoom, so you can join us from literally wherever you are, nationwide, worldwide for that matter, and join us. That's always a very, very informative, the Equity Accelerator Workshop. Then on Tuesdays, as you know, we talk a lot about credit. Credit is fundamental when it comes to the conversation of real estate. And so we dedicate a full hour workshop on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Now, remember, our show is at 8 p.m. on Tuesdays as well. So we've got some team members that start that workshop on at 8 p.m. I'll join it at 8:30 p.m. And but it's an hour long, and so we don't keep you up too late. That's how that one works. Now, all of these are also Zoom workshops that we host. Then we have our Thursday. That's the big one. That's the good one. So remember, on Thursday at a little bit after our radio show, about 8:45, we start the big round table. Now, the big round table has become a very interesting opportunity in a workshop where we sort of mastermind and we bring the topics to the table. about business in general. How do you market your business, whether it's the real estate business or any other business? You're sure to walk away learning a bit about the business world itself. And you treat real estate like a business, it will pay you like a business. You treat it like a hobby, well, you know how those things go and how hobbies go also. So Monday, Equity Accelerator at 9 p.m. Tuesday, 8 p.m., our credit workshop. Thursdays, the big round table. Mark your calendar as those well. Now, those are not on the air. Those are not here on the radio station. Those are separate Zoom, and that gives us the latitude to not get broken up by commercials. For us to, if we run a little bit long on some of our topics, if we get Q&A, that's the other really nice thing about that, is that it's an opportunity for everybody to ask questions, be more interactive, and to and to be more involved in the workshop. People walk away learning quite a bit more. And we talk about everything from our new real estate concierge service that we talk about. We talk about the property management business. We talk about the real estate business and other businesses as well. So again, very cool stuff. All those dates there. We got a lot going on. So you know what? Before I get started into today's topic, and I want to talk a little bit about the concept of debt zero. Now, as we move away from the whole election conversation, this is something that's not party specific. It is completely independent of either of the candidates, but more so now than ever before, to be able to manage your debt. Today, we're in a super low interest rate environment. And therefore, as the economy now kind of comes out of the state of a suspended animation where it was, and that we're going to see somewhere down the road, might be next month, might take several months before you start seeing interest rates creep up. The likelihood that they will go down from here is a lot lower than the more than likelihood that they will go up from here. And so having a good solid hand on your debt and bringing that debt to zero is something that we want to focus on. And it happens to be also one of the important goals that a lot of real estate investors, as they grow their real estate portfolio, a lot of times they go out and get more debt in order to leverage and buy and control more properties. But then there comes a certain point where when a specific investor thinks that they have achieved the level or size of their portfolio, then the focus begins to change. And then you want to preserve and increase cash flow. And the number one drain on cash flow usually is debt. And so this is something we're going to talk about. Now, we have a great program that helps you to get rid of your debt and literally to accelerate the payoff of the debt. And I want to talk a little bit about that today. And I also want to talk a little bit about how that all works together with budgeting, which is it almost seems like it's a bad word. I challenge you out there. How many of you have a written budget? Yes, I know. Everyone tells me, oh, I know what it is in my head. Yeah, sure. You pay the same rent, the same mortgage, the same car payment. You have a good idea, but the operative word there is an idea. The name of the game is to have a real strong handle. If you ever watch the show on TV, the Shark Tank, the number one reason why people get shot down, number one reason why people fail in business is because they only have an idea. They don't know their numbers the way that they should. And a good, solid business, a strong business, knows their numbers. And that's what we'll talk about. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Here are a few words from our sponsor when we come back. Not only am I going to talk a bit about getting to debt zero, but I'm also going to talk about a couple of the questions which we received, and a little change. I'm going to answer some of those questions right here on the air. So don't touch that dial. You're listening to the Real Estate Show here. Remember, we're at our new time, 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. here on this very radio station you're listening to us on. And don't forget, we're also on live Facebook. Well, here we go. Let's go ahead and take our break, and we'll be right back. Little delay in the music there. I was afraid I wasn't hearing what's going on that side. Okay. Do. Hey, Richard is on. Sam is on. So I noticed that I see those things. For some reason, the setting is such that I'm not getting the comments. Am I? Let's see. See how that works. So how's everybody doing out there? Hey, Sam. I haven't talked to you in a couple of days. I want to catch up with you. Do. And welcome back. For those of you just joining us, my name is Eric Willner. I am the host of the Real Estate Show. I've been here on this radio program now for almost 22 years. And in the process, we have been through some market swings, some highs, some lows, and a lot of in-betweens. And, we used to say, through good times and through bad times, through the highs and the lows, and now we can even say through a worldwide pandemic. But the Real Estate Show has been the longest running uninterrupted show here about real estate. And I think one of the reasons why we've got that longevity is because we do employ some safe and simple approaches to buying real estate. We have long proven systems. We talk about the automatic landlord, the namesake for our website, automaticlandlord.com. And by following these proven methods, these systems, and that's where, our concern for credit comes in. Our emphasis on budgets come in. That's because these are proven systems, a lot like in a franchise. The reason why people go to franchises is because they are a proven system. They are time-tested. Systems are in place. There's manuals, there's guidelines, there's metrics, and all sorts of things. And we've done the same thing here with the automatic landlord. And one of the things that's also important when it comes to a business is looking at the debt situation of a company. The one killer that will knock out a company, even in good times, is too much debt. And having slightly too much debt in a volatile economy can also be very dangerous. So what there is, as you know, banks have their methods, their algorithms, their formulas on how they calculate mortgages. There's simple interest, there's compound interest. There's payments that are due at the beginning of the time period. There's payments due at the end of the time period. How do you know when to pay which debt, how to pay it better if you don't know those algorithms? And then, before you go, well, Eric, my math was never my strength anyway. I'm going to tell you that there's a solution, and you don't have to know all of the algorithms or be a math whiz. What you need is the right software in order to have the assistance. You see, the banks with their legions of MBAs, analysts, credit specialists, and so forth, they have developed these systems to benefit who? The lender, right? Because that's what the business is all about. What's interesting, and most people don't even know that this exists, but there are formulas, there are algorithms that counter those algorithms and allow you to actually accelerate your progress. You know, if you take out a 30-year mortgage and you pay it the way the lender tells you, you pay it, you're always paying 30 days in arrears, meaning that they're allowing you the full use of the money and not expecting the payment until the end of the period. Now, what happens if you pay it half a month sooner? What happens if you pay it 30 days sooner? You're in effect not only canceling out next month's interest, but actually adding to the principal, which changes the entire amortization schedule the minute you do it once. So that means that if you're going by the amortization schedule that you got on day one, day zero of closing, you're now going to be paying something completely different. And so what if you could figure out what that is and then optimize it? And that's exactly what this software does. We talk about the automatic landlord debt solution. We've been talking about this for years, been using it for years. Those of you who have known me have seen me talk about something called the Genius Loan, which is another way to optimize and accelerate your equity buildup / accelerate your debt paydown. And so it's not important for you to understand all these complex mathematics and all these algorithms and these computer generated programs if you have a program yourself. And that's one of the things that we talk about in conjunction with fixing your credit, with setting up a budget, and now optimizing your payment. And what's best of all is that there's a way for you to be able to do that, to optimize your payments and not even have to be making more money. Now, what is essential in all of this is that you have to be able to pay your bills in full each month. You know, if you're running at a deficit and that's why you're increasing your debt, that's a whole different story. But if you have $1 left over at the end of the month, you qualify to use this program, to use this system. And I'm going to tell you that you can literally cut your debt period, not 10%, not 20%, more than 30%, even as much as 50%. We can cut it down to be 1/3 to 1/2 the time that it normally would take, simply by redirecting how you make your payments, who you make your extra payments to, because you may have heard different programs, the debt snowball, or the payoff method, where you first attack the largest debt, and then as soon as you pay that off, then what you do is you attack the second biggest. Now you've got a whole bunch of extra money, and now you're increasingly getting better and better performance on your debt payoff. You have the debt avalanche, you have debt cancellation, you have all of these things. So one of the things that I wanted to kind of talk about is using the program to get the results. And one of the things that I get asked most often is, do I need an increase in income in order to use this system? And the cool thing about it, as I already mentioned in our broadcast, is if you use our system and if you do and follow the way that it is, not only will it help you accelerate, it guarantees that you'll pay off your debt faster, and you'll be able to do that with the same amount of money that you're making right now. And it's going to show you how to allocate the money to pay down your debts faster and how it will save you money. What's even neater is that it even calculates and keeps recalculating every time you make a payment. It says that you've just moved up your date to pay off this much more. You have just saved a specific X dollars in amount for you to be able to pay off. So if you're interested in learning more about that, if you want to attend our Equity Accelerator workshop on Monday nights at 9 p.m., then text the word credit to 561-861-6233, I believe is the number. And let me look at that number again. I'm going to confirm that before we finish off our conversation. But that was one of our questions that we get the most often. Now, adding additional funds, let me tell you, will in fact get you further along. Adding additional funds can help you pay down your debt a lot faster. We often talk about it and we call it the accelerator amount or accelerator payment, which is like adding gasoline to a fire. It just burns hotter and it makes this program work even better. So the system does require that you have enough money each month to cover the current minimum payments, but every extra dollar that you have, and the neat thing about it is it even allows you to do what ifs. So if you're thinking of buying a boat or taking a vacation or directing money somewhere else, you can figure that out and understand that ahead of time. And I see on our Facebook page, that's one of Bob's making a comment, more money, what a great idea. And especially, with what's going on in the environment, what's going on with all of the economics, we're going to get back into a business rhythm at some point. Now that business rhythm will have its directions up and will have its directions down. I think we will see a strain on the interest rates at some point. And that's why we always advise that if you can borrow money at 3%, even today, I was just working on some numbers for one of our clients, and a 30-year fixed mortgage is coming in at under 3% right now. And so if you can invest in real estate, which, safely will be 2 to 3 times that amount, and I'm saying safely, then why wouldn't you borrow at 3% and invest it, out at 9%, and then take those gains and use that to accelerate your debt payoff and subsequently your equity buildup? And those are the kind of things we talk about. Another question I get very often is, what type of debt should I include? And so, first step in utilizing our system calculators to decide which debts you want to pay off. And it will give you advice on selecting and prioritizing those based on the type of debts they are and the payoff structure that they have. And the cool thing about this program is that it will do all those calculations for you. It's going to simply ask you questions, you fill in the blanks, and from the blanks you fill in, it will then tell you step by step. So be sure to add your current monthly payments and your interest rate. You got to make sure that you know those. If you don't know those, you're going to have to make some phone calls to find those out. Go to your statements. Most of those contain that. But when in doubt, we'll help you out. We'll coach you through that process. We always want to make sure that we get the most bang for and the most benefit out of this program there. So then the program will display your best results utilizing all the information available. And the only thing that you don't worry, now there's a place that it takes, for example, your rent payment or your lease payment, or some of these things that are not debts so much as they are expenses. The program, believe it or not, takes that into consideration because it has to know whether you have money left over or not. But the bottom line is that this addresses all kinds of debt: car payments, loan payments to private signature loans, as well as mortgages, boat payments, you name it, RV payments, you name it, whatever it is. So another question that I get, I think that also is important to understand, is what is does it produce reports? So each month I can get a status on where I am. And so after you add in all of your debt entries, you're going to select the report function, and the report function will give you a detailed summary. It'll break it down literally by month. It'll break it down as a summary picture. The report's pretty cool. And using the information that you entered, you're going to get a real debt detail report, show you how much money you're going to pay in interest, so you'll know. It's going to show you that if you continue with the current payment exactly as you're doing right now, where you'll end up, when you'll end up with no debt, and your total debt paid over the life of the loan, following or not following the program. So that music means that we're out of time, but we're certainly not out of information. Remember, we are here live Monday through Friday. Remember to tune back in. If you want to watch a version of the radio show, remember to join us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Real Estate Show. Meanwhile, you can always give us a call at toll-free 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening. Thank you. That wraps up our 5 p.m. edition of the Real Estate Show. So, Sam, that's the presidential seal. I figured that that would be thematic and appropriate. Yes, I am. No, I'm going to do another one at 8. I'm going to go live at 8 as well. Can you hear me? Okay. Very good. So let's see here. Let me shut down our YouTube vision. Take care of you guys. The content continues to build.